to alarm you, but I feel like this recipe needs a warning sign that it may cause euphoric feelings and make you think it's Christmas morning, but it's not. They're just cookies. So today we're making gluten-free and vegan chocolate chip cookies. This was one of the requests that I got, but I actually made a whole nother video making my usual chocolate chip recipe that I thought was the best. But I just came across, thanks to my friend Amy who sent it to me, a brand new recipe that is absolutely 1,000 times better, that I don't even like my old recipe anymore, so I was like, gotta get rid of that, and we've gotta make a video for this one. This recipe comes from Earthy Andy. She's on Instagram. I will tag her in this so you can go follow her and check out all of her awesome recipes that she posts. Let's get started. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna separate all of our dry ingredients, these come later, and all of our wet ingredients. We're gonna mix them both together and then combine. So for our flour, we'll be using my favorite gluten-free flour blend by King Arthur. We need 2 1/4 cups of flour, and I like to weigh measure my flour because with gluten-free baking it is so temperamental. So instead of just purely using measuring cups, I'm actually gonna weigh it out, and it should be around 270 grams. For sugar, I would normally do half cane sugar and half coconut sugar, but I do not have enough coconut sugar to do that right now, so I'm just gonna follow her recipe by the book, and we're gonna use 1 1/4 cups of organic cane sugar. To finish off our dry ingredients, we are going to do a teaspoon of baking soda and a half a teaspoon of sea salt. Now we're gonna mix all of our dry ingredients together, make sure there's no clumps in there, kind of like our mascara, ladies. All right, moving on to our wet ingredient mixture. We are gonna use coconut milk, and she recommends to get the creamiest possible coconut milk that you can. So I have refrigerated this can of coconut milk, and by doing that, it makes this top layer, you can see I've already used some, but it makes this top layer super creamy and solidified almost, so we're gonna use that. We want 1/4 cup of this. So in the recipe, it says that you can use 1/4 cup of smashed ripe banana or 1/4 cup of applesauce. I used the banana last time. It worked perfect, obviously, because I'm making them right now. But it did have a little bit of that banana taste, so I wanted to see if I made it with applesauce. Next, we are going to add half a cup of coconut oil. And this is very important if you don't want your cookies to taste like coconut oil, which I personally do not like the taste of coconut oil at all. So I always make sure that I get the refined kind of coconut oil because it does not have the coconut oil taste. But you want half a cup of this, and you want it to be solid. You don't want it to be melted so that the cookies do not flatten out as soon as they go into the oven, and it will help them maintain that nice puffy texture and appearance as they're cooking and after they come out. They will last like that, and they won't just be flat, sad little cookies. Last but not least, we're going to use 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract to finish off our wet mixture. So now we're just gonna mix all of that together, and once this is all mixed, we will add it to our dry mixture. All right, so now we are going to mix our wet ingredients into the dry ones and form our cookie dough. It's not going to form a dough unless you actually get in there and knead it. So we're going to mix it as well as we can with this fork, and then we're gonna add our chocolate chips, and we're really gonna get in there and get our hands dirty. Just make sure your hands are washed. All right, now we've got our dough somewhat combined. It's time to add our 2 cups of chocolate chips. Basically 1 bag. Now we're gonna really get in there and get dirty and mix it all up with our hands. Whoops. So as you can see, it's already starting to form a more dough-like texture. What do you get when you use a deer-shaped cookie cutter. A cookie dough. I know you're laughing. All right, so we have our beautiful cookie dough all set and ready. As I was saying earlier with our coconut oil, you want it to be nice and solid so that it gets the perfect texture while it's cooking in the oven. So we're actually going to take this dough and we're going to chill it for about 15 minutes in the freezer. And I'm going to preheat the oven to 375 so that it is ready to go by the time the cookies get out. What's your box? I'm a vegan that eats meat, okay? Alexa, stop. So now we're gonna scoop out our dough, and these are gonna be nice and big. We want golf ball sized, and even with them being so big, I was able to make 18 of them, whereas the recipe said it would make 12, but hey, I do not complain when extra cookies are made. All right, now we've got our cookies shaped and ready to go in the oven. And it calls for baking them for 10 to 12 minutes, but in my oven it leans more towards 12. Yeah, they're looking nice and golden brown on top. They're ready to go. Woo-hoo. Have you ever seen anything so beautiful? So we're gonna let these cool for about 5 minutes before we transfer them to our wire rack. But believe me, these are the best cookies you have ever had in your entire life. I know, I've had a lot of cookies. If you made this, tag me and send me a picture, and also tag Earthy Andy, because this is her recipe. It's so amazing. And I hope that you guys enjoy. Let me know what else you want me to make here in the quarantine kitchen.